Well, it's I think most of you probably know this, but Jarrett Valencia tore his Achilles, had season-ending surgery. It happened on what was it? The very first day of practice we came back, first full day. Kind of knew it immediately, and just it was there was quite a bit of quiet in the room because everybody knew that, man, it's probably a ruptured Achilles. And so not having him, he had season-ending surgery Monday. I really feel for the young man simply because he was playing really, really well. He just had 2 games where he was playing well and excited. Metrically, he was, the third best defender, Wilberg being 1, KB being 2, and Jarrett Valencia's influence. So didn't ask any particular player. We experimented with a lot of things during the course of those 3 days. And uh, great kid. He's going to come back stronger, better, but really feel for him. And so, it's a group effort in order to make sure that we find a way in order to pick up the pieces that we've left, and we were able to do it. And then, these past 2 games defensively, especially at Charlotte, just we weren't defensively what we needed to be, and we were better against Rice, but then it was kind of the offense. So, feel for the kid, but he'll come back really strong.
Is there a hope that he can redshirt, or did he play too much this year?
Don't know.
And you said first day back, was that first day back from holiday break?
Yeah, so what would that have been? Everybody got back tonight at 26. We worked out, but the first team practice was at 27th.
I guess the opportunities in that plays is this a chance for Dylan Batty to kind of show what he can do?
Yeah, I mean, we've given him some of the minutes, experimented with the 2 bigs, and kind of saw what that looked like. We've experimented with KB at the 4 and the 3 smalls. And, if you ever look at Kim Pomeroy, they have height differential. We're near the bottom. And I think we're 275 out of 365 in overall height. But if you ever look at point guard height, we're at the very bottom. I think there's 2 teams below us. So just don't know that we can go that small and be a good rebounding team. We played the other day, Brian and KB at the 4. And so there's been some experimentation, and we'll see what it's like moving forward.
After the last game, you mentioned that you might have to, or you said you knew you were going to have to change the practice to help finishing. What are some things that you guys can do in practice to try to help them finish better?
Yeah, you just practice. I think it's just like, free throw shooting. Like we've seen improved free throw shooting since the DePaul game. And that's simply guys putting in the time. So you got to be able to do it. We have wonderful GAs that can create the resistance. Internally, you can create the resistance by matching likes. But just where we're at, we're able to get shots at the rim. We're pretty good at that, top 5% in the country. We're just not able to finish. And, meeting individually with guys over the past 24 hours, I think they kind of all understand that. So there's a commitment to being able to convert opportunities around the rim. But I mean, the truth is it just comes down to work.
Does it have a little, do like the guards and the wings? Do they just need to have like a plan when they're going into there? Is that part of it? Do you think like just have like a? Do you feel like too many times they're just going in there not knowing what's going to happen and they just kind of force something, or is there what I guess the decision making can that improve in terms of when to attack, when not to?
Yeah, well, you want to be in attack mode, right? I mean, if you look at it, last year we were the top team in the country at getting shots at the rim, and I think every coach who would ever sit here would tell you, like, how do we become number 1 at that? I mean, this year we'll see how it plays out, but we're top 5% in the country at getting shots at the rim, and it creates other things. It creates free throw opportunities. It creates foul trouble. It creates a lot of other opportunities by playing with force, and so we're doing it. We're not finishing. I think the goal with guards is that you always play under control. And the simple read is if there's nobody in front of you, you can play off of 1 foot. If there's a person in front of you, you need to play off of 2, And so I think that you have to think in my mind P squared. We're very conscientious about where assisted buckets come from, specifically corner threes. 92% of all corner threes are assisted, and they come via high post touches. So all that to say, we have a guy in Crom Boyd who shoots 50% from three, and we can't think shot. It's kind of like pick and roll, like your numbers on pick and roll shooting the ball versus passing the ball. There's a big difference in regards to efficiency. So you have to think distribute more than anything else. So it's just practicing more under control. It's not necessarily shooting the ball. It's just going to be rare when you can just go in and get a layup.
Going back to that Rice film, is that what stood out to you the most? Playing under control, finishing at the rim?
No, no. Not at all. Like, I mean, you go back and you watch that Rice film, and there and we've had this, is you kind of see that glimmer of hope that we give the opposition. And you can kind of see the moment in the game when the other team gets it, and you realize like we're about to be in a fight because we aren't doing the things necessary. You go back and look at I mean, it's as simple sometimes as like not getting back off of a 3-point attempt. I don't know how much y'all pay attention to the NBA, but the worst thing that can happen from a transition defense standpoint, and especially for us, given that we're a top 10 offensive rebounding team in the country, is guards missing layups. Because now, once a guard misses layups, now you're playing disadvantaged basketball on the backside because 76% of the time those guards end up on the ground. And because they end up on the ground 1 second later, they're behind the play. So, those are the things, like when you go back and look, you can kind of see the glimmers of hope that we've given the opposition in the past week, and those are the things that have to be eliminated. And then those are being mindful about responsibilities.
What's Dylan best at? How can he help this team?
Yeah, I'd tell you attacking. I mean, if you look at his free throw rate, it's at 91%, which tells you, man, you give that kid the ball 100 times, he's going to get 91 free throw attempts. And so that's easily the highest on our team. And he has that ability to do that, I think, early. And I really appreciated at UAB, he had a corner three that, we're 1 for 10 in our career on shooting threes. And you could settle for that, and he doesn't. And he needs to either be a connector, just understanding that they do with this with TJ2. Teams plug with those guys, and because they plug, if I move it, then I can turn around and go get an opportunity, somebody else's shot, because nobody's there in order to defend the pick and roll or the screen or the DHO, whatever the action may be. But like, he didn't settle. He drives it, ends up getting to the free throw line, making 1 of 2. Was 3 for 4 the other day, but that's what he does. He can get to the free throw line. The only way that you get to the free throw line, though, is you have to play for force, and you're not content with settling. And I think he's gotten better at that.
With TJ, you mentioned they're playing way off of TJ. A couple of times, he tries to use that runway to force something at the rim. Like, what does he need to do? Like, how can he make defenses pay when they're playing so far off of him?
Yeah, you make basketball plays. Like, he's trying to go in there and get fouled. He's not going in there to try to make a basketball play. He has to make basketball plays. Like, he's just sticking his head down and hoping that he gets bailed out by a whistle. And we've told him this. We've shown him the film. So he needs to go in and make basketball plays rather than let me just put my head down and let me see if I can finish. He's not ever going to be a guy. His level of athleticism is, he's an average athlete in this league. So you're not going to be able to just elevate over guys. And the truth is you're probably undersized as a 4 in this league. So you have to play under control. He's skilled at passing the basketball. So you can play under control and be able to generate P squared shots, paint, and then pass. And so he's able to do that. So he's going in and he's thinking get fouled instead of making a basketball play.
Game Sunday, how important do you think it is to, win in the conference here at home?
Don't really think about that. I think about, again, I think it's foolish to think of winning in the outcome. We're in New Year's, right? And you get people who establish goals. And in my mind, that's foolish. You don't get to wherever you go because you just establish some goal. What you have to do is establish habits. The habits will allow you to reach whatever it is that you're going. We need to do certain things, and then winning is a byproduct of doing those certain things. So I don't get caught up in like, oh, we have to win. That's obviously the goal, but we need to do better at habits. So each of the games have been different, but the things that we need to do is you kind of gotta, when you get opportunities to maintain a level of responsibilities and really just attack the next right thing, just more so than just do the next right thing. Like, let's attack the next right thing. That's got to be our focus.
North Texas, what can you tell us about them? They're still a good defensive team.
I can tell you that they're an elite defensive team, and I don't think that, it's not fans' jobs to know how good the other team is, right? That's our job. The fans, your casual people, they just look at Vegas lines and they think that that's how that's going to play out. And so you just, when you realize just how good North Texas is defensively on account of, I've said this before, it probably we're in the neighborhood of about 120 hours to prepare for a game. And it just goes down to a variety of people. And you don't have to, you can get in their film for about 30 minutes and you realize just how impactful they are on the ball. And that's how they try to beat you. And so it's going to be a rock fight on Sunday. We understand it's going to be a rock fight. They have an elite level player in Deshaun Stevenson. So a combination of an elite guy who's amongst the top 5 in the league. And then at the same time, you just realize where they're at defensively. You realize just how hard of a task this actually is.
How about Dylan on defense? How was he out there?
Work to do. I think it's probably all of us in life, right? We all have work to do, and he's got to make strides. We've really encouraged Dylan is his awareness has to be better. The 1-3 that 12 made the other day is Dylan helps same side corner off of Broadnax, and that can't happen. Like, I mean, that one's and you got to remind him he just doesn't have much in regards to. I could probably consider him a freshman, simply because he just doesn't have the minutes. I mean, the first game that he played here against when we played UNC Asheville. That was the most minutes he had ever played in his career in any particular game, and he hasn't been in much. But like, there's some awareness issues that a guy like that, and we're playing some guys who just don't have much in the way of playing TJ. And then at the same time, Dylan, you just have 2 guys that just don't have much in the way of experience, and you kind of watch them learn on the go. And so his awareness has got to get a lot better.